All right, here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me again. Figure I'd do a small stream, play some Convergence before our stream later for the randomized seamless stuff. And I see Cryovision, our new buddy there that's going to be playing with us tonight. He said, yo, hope you have a good stream. We'll check you later. Thanks, buddy. Hope you have a good one too. May your streams are going well and all that. Yeah, so in about 3 hours, roughly, I'll be streaming some, like I said, some more randomized seamless co-op with, it'll be Cryovision, Anna Sweets, Shadow Walker hopefully will be able to join us, and Chanzer. And there's still one more slot open that I'm hoping to fill. For six, I'd like to have 6 people total. So now hopefully the sound for everything is good. We'll get this started. Go slay some more enemies. Oh yeah, I can level up. What do I want to level up? Get that up to 25, cool. I gotta check the scaling. So strength, int, and faith. So what do I want to put up next? Probably strength. Yeah, I'll put strength up. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna... Yeah, last time we whooped this guy's ass. Went better than it usually does for me. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, if you're watching me on Twitch or YouTube, you can follow me on my other channel for the opposite, right? YouTube, Twitch, @Matsurugi. If you'd like to join me sometime in playing some seamless co-op for either the Convergence mod or the randomizer for regular Elden Ring, you can go to my Discord, which is linked in the pinned message in both YouTube and Twitch chats, and you can join me there. The instructions for how to get everything up and running are there to make sure everything's running correctly. Or if you just like to obviously just join me in stream, watch me play, etc. Chill out and have a good time. Alright. Still not quite used to doing all that. Maybe one day. Oh yes, and I'm forgetting one more thing. There we go. And yeah, I was trying to get my stream elements stuff to work for YouTube again. But, I don't know. They have a program called... It's not working for YouTube. It seems to work fine for Twitch. But for some reason, it won't work for YouTube. So, hopefully, their program, SE Live or whatever, maybe I can hook, YouTube up through that. And that'll hopefully work for that. That's my hope anyway. Oh yeah, I was in Discord too. I don't know if anybody else jumped in there. Nope. But I'll open that up. So there. Okay. I thought there was supposed to be something. Oh, it's on the other side. And hopefully today I'll be able to fight Rykard and whoop his ass. Although the Serpent Hunter weapon or whatever, that's in a specific location. I don't remember where. I might have to go find that first. Right, I gotta jump down somewhere. Over here. I think I got everything. I'll double check. Make sure, Yeah, it looks like I did. Good, 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 good. I might be able to beat him without the Serpent Hunter, just because I've got the, all the fire resist. But who knows, you know? Oh, you son of a bitch. Bird. Oh! Brutal. I fucked up. What the hell? Dude, why did it go invisible? That was fucked up. Good damage. Fucker! I just needed one more hit. Getting greedy. Fuck you. God, those things are so annoying. I really need like a lightning imbue for shit like that. Oh, it just brings me down here. Okay, cool. Shortcut unlocked. Oh, dude! What the fuck? Why didn't it let me through? That is such bullshit. Dude. That's rough. Oh, man. Grab my shit, I guess. Brutal. Fucking brutal. Pretty funny though. Stupid on my part. Maybe I need to jump instead, you know? There we go. Damn it! He just auto-targeted instead of freaking, you know... That is so annoying. Okay, I'm turning that off. I'm tired of that happening. Where is the setting? No. No. Turn them all off. Gelmir lava staff. Okay. Rick. We both whiffed our attacks. Yeah, get out of here. Let's go over this way first. Might as well get the Waygate. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do some of the whatchamacallit down here. Go hunt some NPCs, you know? Oh, did I have to wait? I probably should have waited. Yeah, I'm not gonna have the buffs, right? Come on, let me go. Now we're both gonna heal. Damn, that hits. Yeah. Goodbye, Stan. Okay, back to gain of mana.
Did you read them? That is the time you will become if you are low. But you must. This is a we have no. You've completed. I am. This is never the way. It is the truth. And I am free.
Someone please kill him. You're tarnished. Here to put the demigods to the sword.
You know it.
Then please kill the great serpent, the one that devoured Praetor Rykard. I left the serpent slaying spear in the Lord's chamber. Worthy tarnished. Brandish the spear and run him through. The great serpent. That unspeakable monstrosity. Praetor Rykard, they were reduced to gluttonous. Whatever that thing is, someone to spare him.
So, then I shall banal, recusal. Why not add? You've come to take the recuse to raise the recuse. All you can do is laugh.
Eruption.
Well,
How many something half it just is so like
Okay, where's the next one? Is it up here? Yeah, it's up here. Okay. I will need to go to, I guess, here. Get up. Okay, I'm gonna have to check the Discord server because I want to know where this freaking weapon is. God damn it. There we go. Serpent Hunter is now found beneath Volcano Manor after the Abductor Virgin boss encounter. This can be accessed by using the Abductor Virgin Death Warp at the bottom of the large platform wheel prior to the schoolhouse classroom in Raya Lucaria, or by dropping down the southwest side of the Temple of Eglain. Southwest side of Temple of Eglain. Okay, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I will do that. What was the other thing? Is... Do I have... Glowing Rune of Order. Blessing of Gloam, Black Flame Ritual, Noble Presence. Okay. Kind of want that lightning enchant, right? It's in Stormvale Castle? Where? What was it called again? Wait, it's not the Fundamentalist that I want. It's the one for the lightning enchant out here. It's like out there somewhere. I'll go check it. Just because that lightning enchant for my weapon would be good versus this boss. Probably don't need it, but you know, I still like to have it. Be good versus dragons and stuff too, you know. Although bikes would be even better. Around here somewhere, damn it. Ah, there it is. There we go. Dope. I got what I needed. Okay. Southwest side of Temple of Eglain, it said. I'm gonna just take this one off, because first and foremost... Oh, I don't have the int. Defensive enchantment summons Blackfire within, increasing all holy damage you deal by 5%, decreasing FP consumption of incantations by 10%, increasing all absorption by 10%. Nice. So I need, what, 22? Oh, man. I wonder how good that actually is versus enemies. southwest side. Doesn't do a lot of damage. And it only hits one enemy, so that's not good. Try that one, eh? Okay, interesting. That one will do, I think. Oh, do I have enough to level up? I do. So I need one more level. Take those off. One more level, and then I can put that other spell on. Do I have any runes? I do. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to Table of Lost Grace. I'm gonna sell these runes and see if I have enough to level up. It's gonna be, you know, I need 43k, so probably not. $20k, so yeah, definitely not enough. Can't sell Ashes 4, okay. Oh, do I need to activate my... I think I do, yeah. Probably because I died. I might as well talk to Buddy here, too. Just because, why not?
You ox. Apparently you are, but you know not how.
Why thankful is all. Why thankful is all the kid.
Okay. Vicious mother sucker. So it said by jumping, coming down here somewhere. Hmm. Nope, that's not it. Oh no, the regen's already going. Okay, and that just brings me back up here. Oh, okay, I think I figured it out. Let's just go back here. Oh yeah, motherfucker! Ooh, I have this. Oh wait, that's different. Oh, because it's a storm collar helm. Fuck it, we'll just put that on. Actually, no, you know what? We'll put the storm collar one on. No, this is actually, I think, lighter. What does this give you for stats? Int, faith, strength. Ooh, if I do that, I have enough intelligence. Yeah, okay. I can put that one buff on now. Fuck yeah. I'll just use that instead of the attack spell here. Blessing of Gloam. There we go. Oh shit, that's probably too far, yeah. Derp. Supposed to land on that one up there. Whoopsie. Well, shit. Oh, it's not displaying my music. Ah, damn it. Wrong thing again. There we go. There we go. Not an invincible, okay. Good to know. Oh, you piece of junk! Get off me! Did I cast this? I don't think it's on. There. It's supposed to show the bubble. Just gotta remember to recast that, I guess, every couple minutes. %. I probably don't want to go down there yet. Oh, wrong spot. Oh, I did have it on. Okay. Oh, I see how it is. Oops. Recast this. Lots of budding cave moss. Okay. Where is the weapon? I wonder if that's it right there. Yep. Okay. Way up here. Cool. Now, go upgrade it, I guess. Might as well make it as strong as possible, right?
I didn't probably do much, just lay out. That's what I maybe prove my point. Well.
Somber stone, okay. So I got up to +7. That's pretty good. Now, back to here. I'll of course have to get up top. North. Let's go, motherfuckers! I wonder if there's a black flame rune here. Or something, you know? Go see what's up top. Is this the one where he appears? I do believe so. Dominula or whatever. Yeah. Bow before your queen. 15k, nice. And an heirloom rim. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I think I'm gonna put that on, yeah. Yeah, because that's the one I took off is the one that gives you the bubbles, so that's good. Okie doke. Now I gotta rip back this way. Because then I can jump down. Yeah, let's roll. Psycho lady, the fuck out of here. And then running this way, I can also get some more sites of grace, etc. Up in here. Wait, I don't need to go in there, do I? I don't think I do. I can just rip this way. Ooh, graveyard. Oh, come on. That's it? Really? Cheapskate motherfuckers! Oh, there be Chancer. Chance, my boy. Once I hit the site of grace, check that message. See what's going on with Chance. Oh boy, my character's bugged out. Hey, pop that up. That way I can swap my helm out to something else. Probably this, just because it gives me, you know, higher, bit higher poise. Can I not get up there from here? I thought I could. But maybe not. Whoa! You guys are so mean! There's all the chests, bro! What are you doing sitting around here? Oh, dude, can I just get off the fucking horse, please? Holy shit. Oh, come on. Should have been able to poise through that, you know? Oh, dude. Okay, no, it's fine. What the fuck, dude? I did not minimize it, okay? What is going on, dude? Okay. Cool. You gonna actually fucking stay up now? No, what the hell? I don't know what's going on here. Why it's fucking doing this. That was weird. It's suddenly blacking out like the screen for my music that I got displayed there. Really frustrating. Just no. There's one over here though. Oh, okay, buddy. Right, burn, motherfucker. You do. Draconic epitaph. Cool. Come on, dude. Let me fucking jump up. Hey, what's up?
What up, dog?
Not much. You're so quiet for some reason. What?
Am I though? Like, am I actually, or am I
Yes.
talking quietly?
I don't know. I just know that it's pretty quiet.
Fair enough.
At least to me it sounds like it is. Let me see. Discord. No, Discord's cranked down for some reason. Go ahead and talk again.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, there we go. That's better. Much, much better.
Fair enough.
Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with the goddamn window capture for Google Chrome, but it's clearly not working correctly. So I'll just fucking turn it off. Are you trying to join my game mode?
Oh no, not yet. I was gonna ask you which one you were playing.
Oh, yeah, Convergence. Doing up some Convergence, motherfuckers. Yep.
Are we playing the other one later?
Yes, at 11 p.m. my time.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna keep getting this character. It's almost ready, honestly.
What level is he? A bajillion?
No. He's actually not level bajillion. He's only level 62.
Oh yeah.
Just maybe a little bit higher than you guys, and I can
little what?
actually be a little higher.
I mean, my character I think is 69, 61 or something now.
Well, as soon as I get the amount of faith, I was gonna ask if you'd let me join in so I could warp around to the merchants.
Why do you need to warp to the merchants?
Oh, so I can get them. So I just have the merchants, like the bell
Oh, yeah, we could do that after. Like before we start or whatever. So right now I'm working on something.
Oh no, you're good. Like, no rush or anything. I was just saying, like, sometime before.
Oh, I ain't rushing, bro. I ain't rushing. Kill all these motherfuckers.
This man says I say bye-bye, not do svidanya.
What? Speak English, you heathen.
Whatever, suka.
I don't know what that means. That's rude.
Means bitch in Russian.
Yeah, there you go. That's rude.
Sure it is.
Yeah, very, very rude.
Whatever, dude.
Why so rude, bro? I've been
Because-
so good to you, and yet here you are treating me like this.
Nah, you and Guts are really mean to me, and the only one
Oh,
that's
yeah.
nice is Anna.
It's not got nothing to do with you, right?
I mean, do you know how narcissism works?
Yeah, intimately. I have a video about it actually.
Or is that a sociopathic tendency? I can't.
Sometimes they go hand in hand. No, sociopathic people. Yeah, I would say so. what would you call it? Seriously, guys, just back off, okay?
They be together all the time, but they
A lot of
mutually-
times they are, but not necessarily. I think when you have psychopathic or sociopathic, and I think nowadays for some reason they distinguish, like they don't distinguish between the two. They just call it psychopathy. I think. So,
which is kind of crazy, no pun intended.
Yeah,
because, like,
crazy.
there's very specific niches that they fall into. It's like
Mhm.
everyone tries to generalize it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, and maybe it's because of they overlap, but they should do the same goddamn thing then with narcissism, right? Because what they've done is they distinguished between.
Okay, which the one that I'm like I'm self-aware of this, but like I'm just putting it on you.
What?
Because I think that's the situation I presented. It's like, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, but the problem is that so there's a difference between narcissistic personality disorder and having narcissistic traits. Every single human is narcissistic. For instance, every single human being wants to live, in many instances, even when they're good people, at the expense of others, like themselves first. That's narcissistic. Self-absorption and delusional tendencies, that's part of narcissism, along with like psychopathy, right? It's kind of like, and you could almost say that narcissism is maybe a like some kind of subset or off branch of, say, maybe like psychopathy and the like, or psychopathic tendencies, etc. Because they're so similar in many ways. So, but that's up for debate. Give me 1 second. But being narcissistic is not the same as having narcissistic personality. So let me make that clear.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's inwardly these things sometimes. It's when you start projecting it outwardly and like.
No, it's
right? That
it
becomes
depends.
disorder?
It depends on the severity of it. Because with narcissistic personality, okay. So going back to the thing I was going to say about so they've taken sociopathy and psychopathy, and they've combined them together. They're saying nowadays, apparently, that they're the same thing. Essentially. They're just degrees of psychopathy, right? So it's kind of like grouped in one. Which kind of makes sense.
Like
okay.
a spectrum type
Yeah. Which mental disorders are really, like, I would say, unlike physical disorders, so like somebody with Down syndrome, like they say the spectrum, right? Actual like mental disorders where people are like crazy and different things like that, that's not due to like maybe some defect in brain chemistry or brain structure that they're born with, or they develop from a head trauma or something like that. Mental disorder is a different thing. It's a psychological thing, right? And so, but since they took sociopathy, and they don't really refer to it in the literature as far as I know anymore, at least here in Canada, they should have done the same thing with narcissistic personality disorder, because they have narcissistic personality disorder and then they have a borderline personality disorder. So narcissistic is, or NPD, is male. That's what they say it is. It's like, oh, if you have NPD, you're male, and if you have BPD, borderline personality disorder, you're female. Or like you're a very feminine man, or something like, or a very masculine woman. Except that's retarded. Because
I mean, yeah, that it doesn't really make any sense. The only thing that changes us is a chromosome.
But
like the
there's
level
no
of,
actual
like, hormones
physical,
in our system.
But there's no actual physical determinant, biologically speaking, as far as I know, that says if you end up, because the triggers for developing narcissistic personality disorder are the same either way. The difference, and you can have men who are perfectly masculine but have what they would call BPD. What it is it's the strategy by which the person operates the world. Because really what a person with NPD is doing, and this is why I say so first and foremost, they come from the same place, right? NPD and BPD. It's the same system or same structure of events and triggers through your upbringing that cause a person to develop these disorders. Okay, so
Well, it's the same thing with ADHD. Like they call adult male ADHD something different than adult female ADHD, and
yeah, which is like why did the discrimination between men and women?
But
in that regard?
the only accurate,
but
well,
then-
the only accurate like separation of men and women with adult ADHD is most women get over it as they grow up, and then
Are you
if
sure
men,
about that?
well, I've done a
Because
lot of research. I have
ADHD
really bad
apparently
ADHD. and-
ADHD though is supposed to be a mental disorder, right? Like a development/mental/personality disorder. Essentially.
It's not. It doesn't have to be a negative, but the thing is, it's
But
all
it
about
is.
how you wrangle it. And when you're a
Sure.
child and you don't get proper follow through with therapy and like behavioral like training, then as an adult you find yourself like struggling to do things that you
Yeah.
should know how to do,
So,
which I do all
Here's
the
the
time.
thing though, ADHD, you know how it could be counteracted at a very young age? Maybe if we didn't stick young boys in a classroom for 8.5, 9 hours a day that they're not suited for, and gave
Oh,
them
yeah, for
more
sure,
right,
for
because
sure.
this is the simple thing I realized going through school when they're talking about this kind of thing. And back then it was not ADHD, it was
Hyper attention. It was
yeah,
ADD.
ADD. So obviously,
Well, the thing
couple
is, the
decades
thing
ago.
is,
But let me
when I
finish here.
was
Let me finish here.
7,
All you have to do is you got to give kids the proper output.
yes.
Right? The proper because this is what I've seen happening. I don't ever remember seeing anything, and I'm pretty sure I looked into this before, in the past of people talking about their child having something like ADHD. Like, I mean, like, historically
Well, okay,
speaking.
it's
So-
more prevalent in the States than it would be in Canada, I'm sure.
No, it doesn't matter. It is cross-cultural. It is cross-nation. It doesn't matter. If you
You
have
guys
a
also
system...
have better healthcare, though.
It
like,
doesn't
you guys
matter.
have a better system to help take care
No,
of it.
it doesn't, actually. First and foremost. Our healthcare system, both for mental and physical problems, is garbage. I don't care what
It's-
anybody says.
okay, it might be garbage, but it's still better than ours.
I wouldn't say that, man. If
okay,
a person...
like as a whole, though,
Because
like,
if a person... Why do you think if I want some, like, medical treatment, and I want it in a timely fashion, because this is what
you're gonna
people
have to
do...
pay for it because it's private pay if you want it at a timely fashion. But if you want to go off the insurance, then you have to go off certain doctors.
Well, we don't have, like, quote-unquote necessarily insurance here. We have public health care, right, typically? So, like, if I ended up with cancer, because, you know, smoking and shit or whatever, I'm pretty sure that's generally covered, for the most part, under the federal public health care system.
Well, yeah, because you have public health care from the time you're born. There's no, like, I have to go get it, and now I have a pre-existing condition, which
Yeah.
happens all the time here.
So, but the difference is if I'm told I'm going to have to wait 6 months to get treatment for whatever my issue is, when it's something that needs to be treated like 2 months from now at the most, that kind of thing, because that kind of thing can happen, or maybe it's a transplant or who knows what, right? I can instead, if I have the means, you know, i.e. financials, I could go to the United States or somewhere else and pay for it privately and get it done now. You see, it's the difference. And Canada is not fully public for healthcare. It's a partnership of private and public. So, like, when you hear somebody talk about a clinic, the doctors at the clinic are private medical doctors. Like a family doctor or something, right? Is a private medical doctor, technically speaking.
Yeah, it's private practice.
But no, because they're working in a clinic with other people. As an individual, it's kind of like private practice. But when you go
So they're
there,
like a contractor inside the
the public system.
establishment.
So, and this is something that a lot of people from other places, especially outside of Canada, don't understand. And even a lot of people in Canada don't fucking understand this because it's not something that's talked about. It's not something that's taught in schools. Okay? Our public healthcare system is not fully public at all. In fact, a lot of and this is why, so doctors who stay in Canada and operate under the public, as far as I know, if they're a medical doctor, they're not like a chiropractor or something like that, they fall distinctly under the public healthcare system as a private practitioner or whatever, right? As you put it. But when I go to the doctor and I take up their time with whatever my issues are. They then send off documentation to the government that says I did this and that for this individual as a private doctor under the public healthcare system, and they get paid for that.
And then
Like, that's
does
how
the public
that's from the
healthcare
government.
system then determine whether you are off the hook for payment?
Depends. Like, for instance, I have no coverage for medication and stuff like that. Right? There's variance in the stuff there, and our mental health system is garbage. Okay, we have nothing
ours
to
is
deal with
garbage
people.
as well, yeah.
Like here in Alberta, we have something called AISH, which my older brother is on, because he has like a learning disability and stuff like that. He's not retarded or anything like that, but he has a learning disability.
Well, actually, you know what? Going back to that, I think ADHD is categorized under a learning disability. It doesn't mean you can't learn. It just you have to learn in such a different way.
Here's the problem I have with it, right? That it's been treated as if it's like an epidemic and a psychological disorder, despite whatever, right? Whereas it's more of a personality thing. And I think the reason for it is because what happens when you're a human as you grow up. So there's the overall, like, what do you call it? There's the micro and the macro. So the macro evolution of human beings, personality-wise, physically, etc., is one thing, and then you have the micro evolution, which is the individual. And you can, between micro and macro, there's like, you know, communities and like families and societies, towns, blah blah blah, like all those things kind of mixed in there till you get the whole of like the macro of like an entire society, like Canada or whatever, right? A civilization. But on the individual level, if you do not have the proper conditions for people to express themselves as they're growing up, and I don't mean like all willy-nilly, like do whatever the fuck you want. I mean like a male child needs physical output. They need somewhere where they can put their aggression, where they can learn how to play well with others, right? Without being too aggressive, where they learn those controls.
Oh
and
no,
where
I'm a firm believer that every young man should do martial arts.
Well, even as long as it's something, I do think that, you know, everybody should learn how to fight. Especially men, okay? Boys. Everybody should learn how to fight. And I don't mean street fight, I mean like actually fight. Right?
It's because it creates a level of discipline and self-confidence, because the biggest tenet of martial arts is this is an art of self-defense. No. You don't need to beat people up to be a man. It teaches you like... Yeah, but it gives you a sense of oneself.
I just want to correct you there. It depends on the martial art. So karate is put forward as like a self-defense martial arts. It's not. Martial arts, generally speaking, from what I've learned throughout my life, are not classified as self-defense. They are meant to kill. That's what martial arts is for.
Like jujitsu,
okay?
Or Taekwondo in general. It's not really like Taekwondo is not very useful in like an actual fighting sense.
Again, yes, it depends on the martial art, right? But going back to, so there's like how ADHD explodes in our populations, specifically, as far as I know, since the introduction of the modern education system as we know it, going back like 150, 200 years, however long it's been, that's when, as far as I know, people started to deal with ADHD. And especially, it's like 99% in boys and like very rarely in girls, because girls are actually set up to learn in that kind of space and express themselves.
I've actually read like a lot of books about it. It's not that girls don't have ADHD as often. It's that it actually, with the chemicals in your brain, affects it slightly differently. Like, girls are more likely to have the ADD, which is just the overactivity of your mind, and then males are more likely to have the one that consists with, oh, you can't stop shaking your leg, you always got to be doing something.
Yeah, that's like, so there's a difference here, right? Like what you're calling ADD, what that sounds like to me is just anxiety, which, guess what, women are more prevalent in general of having. They have higher levels of anxiety in general, basically from birth, than boys. and men, almost always. And in fact, the vast majority of like mental health disorders, as they call them, for women, especially as they get older, as they get into like menopause and stuff like that, it all revolves around anxiety. So just imagine you have somebody who on a biological and psychological level is more prevalent to anxiety type disorders from a baseline, and you put them in a social situation, because girls are far more ferocious and more insidious, and I would say way more likely to, well, they're bullying, as we call it, okay, their torture of another person, etc., in a social situation is way more dramatic, but simultaneously somewhat low-key, because it's a social thing instead, where they're like tear another person apart. Women know this is a natural thing that women do to each other, okay? It's their form of aggressiveness. Men punch each other in the face. Women use social status and manipulation and stuff like that, and social what would you call it, standing disintegration. So like where they'll attack a person's credibility, socially speaking, without physically going after them. And that's just as dangerous for a human being as it is for, like, if you were to like threaten somebody to kill him. If in fact, I would say long term it's way more dangerous, depending on how you look at it, because socially, if you get destroyed but you don't get killed per se, you're still alive and suffering. So it's like what's worse in some fashion, right? Long-term suffering because your social standing has been fucking irrevocably destroyed, or you're actually dead. One, you just end, no more suffering as far as we know of it, right? The other continues, or can continue. And the smaller the community you're in where this happens, the worse it is. So, but then you combine that with male aggression in terms of bullying, because they go hand in hand, obviously, just like in the wider society you exist in, a town, a village, a tribe of people, whatever. Like, everybody kind of, to some degree, plays a role in these things, right? Men naturally act one way, but then women, they piggyback off each other. It's like a positive feedback loop. It's not good. So women being more prone to anxiety, you put them in a social circumstance where their peers, as they call it stupidly now, peer pressure, can fuck with them socially. So women are going to develop potential. A lot of their anxiety disorders come from such circumstances. It might not even just be at school, it could be their family or whatever, right? That are doing these things. Now, going back to NPD and BPD, the circumstances for developing that kind of thing is simple. Your parents don't love you, you're abused. It might be just psychologically, it might not be physically, but it can be physically. And
well, just like any kind of past trauma, whether it be psychological or physical.
Sure, but there's a very specific set of circumstances, of events, based on whoever your caregiver is. Let's say your guardian, whether it be your parents, it could be your grandparent, it could be an uncle, it could be whoever's raising you, etc., right? Your mother and father figures or whatever. The key is abandonment. That is the core of narcissistic personality disorder, is you were abandoned as a child, a very young child, between, like, you know, you being born and 10 years old. Not shitting, 10 years old. And sometimes it can be later in life, it depends on the circumstances. But typically it's when a child is much younger. And
okay, I then from that, I guess I would be a narcissist.
No. It
doesn't. Like, okay, so very specific situation, right? You're talking about abandonment, right? But could it be perceived abandonment?
Maybe. I'm not 100% clear about that, but typically it's like a reinforcement over time. You know, so like you have a child, especially a lot of times they're single child households, for one. So it's even worse. Two, if you have multiple children in the household, it can show up in different ways because there's could be maybe favoritism, manipulation, and stuff. A lot of times the parent themselves is somebody that has some form of or degree of narcissistic personality disorder, okay, or some other mental disorder where they're going to be unloving, uncaring, and abusive to their children, okay, and essentially the child learns that nobody fucking cares about them. Okay, nobody in the world. Like, that's the problem, because it's a child, somebody with NPD doesn't have an adult's way of looking at the world. Their thought processes are that of a delusional, hallucinating child. Because where they develop, right, their development essentially, psychologically speaking, stops at the point of like when they full-fledged have like NPD. There's no going past that. They are stuck in this loop.
There's a very similar thing that happens to adult males with untreated ADHD. Like, not fully the childlike entire consciousness like issue, but like certain things that as an adult like you should do, or you should know how to do, or it should just be like a thing that you do, is overlooked.
Like what? Give me examples.
Okay, so I'm a pretty intelligent person. Like, I have a great handle over the vernacular of the English language. Like, I understand everything you're saying. Like, we can have an intelligent conversation, right? When I was 20 and got my first salesman job with Coca-Cola, like, I don't sweep floors correctly, apparently, or when I'm doing something, people will see me doing what I'm doing and be like, hey, why are you doing it like that? That's not how you do it. I've never done it that way. That's weird. It's just these weird ways that people with ADHD we find to do things, because the normal way of someone showing me how to do something usually doesn't click for me. You'll show me like the basis and the outline of something, and then your perception of the adult way to do things might not work for me, but I'll find a way that works for me better, but it's not the way that everyone does it, so then it's attacked and looked at like it's the wrong way to do things.
Here's the thing. I think that's maybe a bias on your part, that you're being attacked per se. What it is there's an optimal way to do things typically, especially if it's somebody who's experienced in that job. So for me, I'll give you an example, is janitorial. I've done quite a bit of that. I did actually probably like 5 years or something like that when I was younger, in my 20s, of janitorial work, like professional janitorial work. Waxing floors, cleaning stores like Walmart, Supercenter, things like that, okay? There's a particular way that you need to, for instance, with a dust mop, be sweeping. There's a particular way where you should be mopping with the tools that you have. There's a particular way you should be cleaning your stuff, and the like how often you do things like that, etc. There's a particular way, for instance, even that most people don't know this, but most of the cleaners that a janitor uses in a place like Walmart to clean the floors, you can't use warm water. It has to be cold water. Well, it also depends on the cleaner, right? These are things you need to know. But there's an optimal or most efficient way of doing things, because otherwise it's going to take too long. So when a person comes along and says you're doing that wrong, here's how you're supposed to do it, it's not an attack personally against you.
Oh, no. Let me give you a specific example. So when I got my first desk job, because I got hurt, whatever, it was basically data analytics and just scheduling all the major installs of everything for like mansions in Vegas. Like, there's a lot of computer shit, SAP, like Excel, etc. So my boss created the system, like created the steps, like the SOP, right? Okay, so she created it 15 years ago. I'm coming in, I'm a gamer. I do everything to try and be the most efficient. The way my ADHD works is I'm going to take a problem, break it into all of its smallest parts, whether I need to or not. It's like I don't have control of it, and I'm going to try and pick at it and find the most efficient, like, least steps, least, like, waste, right? So I developed a way that was different than her way to do it, but I was doing the work so fast and so efficiently and so correct, and I was doing every one of my department's work. And it took until I sat her down next to me and showed her every little step that she was like, okay, I get it. But it's just like, my brain doesn't work normally. Like, I don't feel good doing things if I know there's a better way to do things.
Sure, but here's the thing. That's every human. Generally speaking, whatever.
No, and I get that,
right?
but
whatever task you're performing.
If I'm sitting there doing it that way when I know I could be doing it twice as fast, but I'm just not doing it twice as fast because it makes another person uncomfortable, that creates a level of anxiety that I don't need.
Yeah, here's an issue, like a tug of war between people, right? So there's you, who thinks you know how to do something better, more efficiently, etc. Okay, so there's going to be times where you might think that and you're wrong. Your ADHD doesn't make you correct, okay? That's just the tendency you have with things you do, with tasks you try and perform, okay? And then you have, let me finish, and then you have the other person who is experienced, and you get different scenarios. One, like you described, where that woman sat down with you and you showed her and you were correct. But then there's going to be other times in your life where somebody sits down and either A, no matter what you say, because they've been doing it that way forever and people get stuck in their ways, like you are stuck in your ways, let's say, in general with ADHD and how you break things down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, same thing for other people in a lot of different ways, but they're going to be like, I don't care, you have to do it my way because I'm the boss, or this is what the regulation is, etc., right? That can cause problems if they're unflexible, let's say, right? Or inflexible. And there was something else I was going to say. What else was I going to say? But it's a tug of war between people about, let's say, what's right, what's wrong, etc. It's not all, unfortunately, in the world. Most of the time, it doesn't. People don't no, we're just having a discussion. Most people don't care or don't understand or don't have the time to sit down, unfortunately, and work such things out. That's been my experience, etc. Because now I don't have ADHD as far as I know. Okay, but I'm one of those people that if I'm doing a job, especially I'm going to be doing it for a decent period of time, I'm going to find the most efficient way to do it. Although it's for different reasons. It's because I want to get it done quicker. Plain and simple. I just want because I don't enjoy work for anybody else whatsoever. If I could do what I'm doing right now, streaming and stuff 24/7 and playing fucking video games and support myself, etc., doing that, that's all I would do. I would never work for somebody else ever fucking again. Because I hate the very idea of working for somebody else, following their rules, etc. It always grates on me, especially when you have most people who are in middle manager positions, A, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, B, are bad at managing people to begin with, and they're put there because they can't be, a lot of times, gotten rid of because they're bad at their job, because they've been various reasons why that occurs. But most middle managers, most people that you or I are going to be dealing with, for instance, are bad at their fucking jobs.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want to follow your rules. It's just that, like, if that's the way to do it, like, take half a second, like, as my employer, and be like, okay, this is exactly why I need you to do like this. I realize your way is faster, but this is necessary for
various
departmental
reasons.
Success. Like, for this reason, not just because I need you to do it this way and that's the way it is.
Yeah, like I said, there's degrees of that, right? Like there's like you just said, like I get that you're doing things maybe a better way, but maybe everybody else can't do it that way. Because that's the thing too, is maybe everybody else can't do it that way.
Well, when I would train people at that job, I would be like, hey, you need to do it this way. You can't do it my way. The only reason my way works for me is because I decided to do it this way and I practiced it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm very good at training people. Like, I'm very good at managing people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better at managing people than I am at taking instruction.
Is, I would say that's probably one of the biggest drawbacks of people that have ADHD, is because they don't know how to follow instructions. Like, unlike most other people, is what I mean, right? Because it's like some people would say, oh, that person's just like, it's my way or the highway or something like that, and they don't understand or whatever. Now, there are people in the world, like, say, somebody with NPD, where it literally is my way or the fucking highway, regardless of whether I'm right or wrong or whatever. I'm just saying that because, fuck you, you're going to do what I say or whatever, you're useless, right? But not everybody can follow along that path or whatever, let's say, right? But also it can cause, because one of the things that, let's say, a good manager actually takes into account and adjusts for in the work environment is, because like you said, they're there to manage the people under them that are working, right? Socially speaking, etc., is to try and ensure that people cooperate and work together, because otherwise things fall apart. And I've been at multiple places, especially in the hotel industry, where that happened for various reasons. And you can have, like, all the people that work together, let's say the plebs, right, the low-level employees, they all work together fine. But as soon as the manager gets involved in fucking anything to do with them, everything starts to fall apart. People are angry, people are upset, people are unhappy, generally speaking, etc. But when working with each other, they work fine. And then sometimes you have the opposite.
Because, dude, most people don't want to take the time to actually get to know the people they're managing, because, like, all it could take is moving two people to different tasks that they are more, like, catered for. Like, what are their skills dictate that they would bring the most success to? And most managers don't take the time to sit down and think about that. They're just like, okay, I need two people for this, have at it.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have that luxury. Right, it varies from circumstance to circumstance, from place to place, person to person, etc. Yeah, that's, I don't know. There's not much more I can say about that. Right, it's a dynamic. It literally is. The workplace, just like any other social system that involves humans, or hell, even like apes and stuff like that, various other mammals. Similar thing, right? Like, it's a social system that people need to find some way to operate in, but there are consequences, both positive and negative, that can occur. And in some circumstances, it's the people. It's a lot of times all it takes is one person. Here's the sad thing: it takes many people to build a good thing. It only takes one individual to fuck it all up.
Oh yeah,
one individual, right?
I was in a band, I know.
Yeah, so, and going back to, like, the narcissistic stuff, so, there's a difference between being stuck in, like, some kind of demented hallucinatory delusion within your own mind of how, because somebody with NPD, they don't have any clue how people actually function. They're predators, and they know how to some degree, emulate other people's behavior. Their emotions are way out of whack. They can't regulate themselves whatsoever. They require external validation as a regulatory thing for their own behavior. And if you don't fucking feed them that, they fucking go berserk. But here's the thing, is their sense of what they're getting, because they're basically like social parasites, okay? Vampires. They're like psychic vampires, essentially, or psychological vampires. Them thinking you are or aren't doing something does not, most of the time, actually align with reality. Right? They'll see the most fucked up things from a person, because they have these images in their head, these like clown fucking images of how people operate in the world. Like, it's literally, imagine upwards of a 10-year-old child who is ignorant of how the world functions, how people actually are, right? Mostly it comes from a place of ignorance, but when you stagnate at that point and then you physically develop into an adult, now you're dealing with adults and not children anymore, or whatever, in your social circumstances. You have kind of a bland, watered down version of how reality, in terms of social circumstance and people, etc., behavior, actually function at a baseline. You don't know as somebody with NPD, okay? So, and they don't get along with anybody. And You're not their friend. They're not your friend. They portray that, but they're abusive and manipulative. Even and like, despite what I'm saying, I have some sympathy and empathy for these people when they're the 10-year-old or younger child. But when they grow into adulthood, that kind of goes out the window, because, simply put, if we're talking numbers-wise here, the amount of damage that individual does, despite whatever their circumstances are to end up like that, most of the time you can't fix them. It's a lose-lose circumstance, basically. If they're allowed free reign in the public sphere, they cause a lot of damage, socially speaking, and sometimes physically too. So, and then if you cut them off, though, that's also very bad for them, you see. But the thing is if they're allowed to feed off of people, essentially, like a vampire, like a parasite, it's really bad for the people that's happening to. Very, very destructive. And this is, for me, coming from a very personal background of dealing with these kinds of things. The other thing to understand is that you can't change them. Zero change can occur. There is zero thought or argument in that person's mind that there's anything wrong with them. It's never them. This is part of why it's narcissistic personality disorder. It's the whole world. It's everybody else. And another difference is what they classify as NPD versus BPD. How do they display their traits, their behaviors to the public, to the people around them, etc. is the difference. But it's all started with narcissistic personality disorder. So somebody that they classify as like male NPD, female BPD. NPD is like way more outstanding, aggressive, etc. And the way they get their validation, let's say, of their delusions is slightly different. The means by which they go about it. You've probably heard the term covert narcissist. Essentially, a covert narcissist is the same thing as somebody that has BPD, okay, borderline personality disorder. The difference is that somebody with NPD, in their own mind, they see themselves as the hero, they see themselves as a god, blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing. So their own self-image is filled in like a child's metaphor for like a hero or king or top shit or whatever, right? As the center. But, like, of their psyche. But then somebody with BPD, instead, it's like there's a void in their mind of who they are. So they don't have an image in their head of who they actually are. And so both people, one with NPD, one with BPD, they both seek external validation. One, the NPD, is to validate the image of their own mind, of their own personality, etc., that they have of themselves, but also of you and every single other individual around. And then the other, with BPD, it's more like to shape the missing image that they have in their head. So that's basically the only distinction between like somebody with supposedly NPD and BPD. They both do the same shit. Okay, and there's some degrees of difference in socially how they manipulate and affect people and different things like that and display their traits, but effectively it all falls under the same thing, which is just narcissistic personality disorder. And they've just designated as NPD is male and BPD is female, which is stupid, I think, in this kind of context, right? Either way, it's very damaging and very bad. And I don't, at least so far, unless you're a really fucking good actor, I don't see a lot of that in you, Chance. Because trust me.
No. When you're saying this, like, it's kind of like, you know, when someone's like telling you like an astrology sign, and then you're like, oh, well, some of that sounds like me, but then some of it's like actually just the complete opposite, total, like, yeah. Not even.
Here's the greatest thing. If anybody ever questions, hey, am I narcissist? Do I have NPD or BPD or something like that? Number one thing. No. You would never ask that fucking question. Zero self-awareness.
Well, no, and okay? That's my thing, is I'm overly self-aware, but a lot of the times I cannot put the solutions into effect.
Yeah, which is different, right? So, like
for a very benign example, like, I fully and totally understand in most video games exactly what I have to do to be very good at them. Like, you need to execute this in this order.
Get skills, bro.
and-
Just get
but
good. Get good script.
but for the most part, I can't put that into like
Practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for example, like you've played fighting games, right?
Yeah.
I know all the combos. I understand what neutral is. I know what advantage state I need. I know what combos I need to get there. I know what movement needs to happen for me to succeed in said situation.
Mm-hmm.
But when I try to put the pieces together, they do not fall.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I used to be
I
really
mean, that
good
might
at
be a bad example, but
it depends. Like, there's differences, right? So, like, sometimes there's just things that you're good at, and sometimes there's things that you're bad at. One thing I suspect with ADHD, or whatever you want to call it, right, is that people will see any slight failure on their part is they're bad. Like, they're bad at that thing, or you know what I mean?
no, that's the thing. A big part of some
this is my
kind
fault,
of ADHD is if I'm not immediately good at something, I'll drop it and switch to something else.
Yeah, which is a problem because most of the things that humans are good at in general as human beings require time and effort. You know what I mean?
And growing up and becoming an adult has helped that a lot. Like it's stuff that I was terrible at before, I'm fine at now just because I spent time being terrible at it. And ADHD doesn't allow for the in the moment, like, cathartic fucking, oh, I figured this, I'm fine, I just need to know. Like, that doesn't happen. It's like, what am I doing wrong? I need to be doing something else to become better faster or something like that.
Sure.
Like, and it might not even be anything to do with what you're doing.
I don't
It's
think
just, like,
that's necessarily ADHD though. Like I said, that's a human trait. Most people, when
no,
they're
I mean,
doing
but it's
something
like
wrong,
it's
the
what do you
same
call it?
thing,
It's
I would say.
exacerbated by ADHD.
yes. Well, I think maybe it's the tendency because of shortened attention span to discard things. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
not deal with negative emotion is a bit different, right? Somebody that's like anxiety ridden or that's has ADHD or whatever is probably more akin, and I would say that from what I've seen, anxiety is probably the root of ADHD, but not in the same fashion that anxiety is part of like other potential disorders. Mostly I think ADHD, or the anxiety as part of it, is because of lack of output, like of things to properly do.
Increased anxiety in people with ADHD is more of a consequence of not being able to deal with said negative emotion
Yes.
in a positive way, or deal with failure in a positive way, or just anything that you don't understand right away. It causes this extreme frustration.
Sure,
that
yeah.
you shouldn't even be feeling it.
So I'll put it to you this way though, right? So 1, dysregulation and inability to some degree to control one's emotions. 2, anxiety. You couple those together. 3, improper environment for learning based on the individual. Male, female, circumstances of each, male and female, etc. Right? Males are more prone to learning by doing things. Girls are okay, typically, in a social setting of sitting down and just talking.
That's a huge problem I have sometimes.
That's why school, as it is now, works so well for girls, and why since the inception of fucking letting boys and girls go to school has happened, boys have effectively fallen behind in education. Because it's a different kind of... Now, when I was a kid, going to like junior high school and stuff like that, and earlier, there's lots of programs where like extracurricular activities and stuff like that for everybody to participate in. But the things that boys generally wanted to do, sports, shop class, things like that, that boys typically are actually interested in, were available. In many circumstances here, at least in Canada, that's not the case. They've gotten it's too dangerous, right? Or there's no interest in them. Like, bullshit. If you don't give people the opportunity to do things that they actually enjoy, to cut the edge off of the boring bullshit that is sitting in fucking class listening to somebody's blah 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 blah, you're going to have problems with that individual because they're going to be pent up, and then maybe they go home and they don't have a proper output. Maybe they don't have hobbies. Maybe they're not in sports. Maybe because they're poor. I would suspect that actually that rate of higher anxiety, worse learning outcomes, and higher rates of ADHD are worse in poor people or people as you go down the line of, right as they get poorer and poorer.
That is 100% true. And
because they don't have
just
the activities. They don't have.
Bro, our school system, the way it worked, homework is the reason I got bad grades.
Oh yeah, because you couldn't sit down and focus and do it.
No, it wasn't even that. It was that they would give us the work in class. All right, cool. I understand the thing. And then they'd give you mountains of homework. So what would happen is I would fall super behind on the homework, but get like 100% on the test. And the teachers are like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you doing so well on this, but then like you don't do any of your homework? It's because I sit at school all day, and then when I go to football practice and go home, I don't want to be at school anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. Most boys, they don't want to be at school 2 hours after or an hour after they're there. They want to be out kicking a ball or fucking chasing each other around. You know, that kind of thing. Physically active. It's now, to be fair, it's also important for girls, but not as much so as for boys, because we kind of, you know, operate differently to some degree, right? But
higher levels of testosterone need different solutions.
Yeah,
than higher
again,
levels
this
of
is all
estrogen.
about like input and output, right? So like in terms of activity. But boys and girls are apparently the same, and they have to sit in a classroom and learn exactly the same because that's how humans are. No, we're not blank slates. We're not the same. Okay, people are fucking different. And there is both again, like I said, there's the species of human being, and then there's male and female, and then there's the individual. Because obviously you could have some men or boys or whatever that are more effeminate or whatever right from the get-go, and so they operate differently, more like a girl maybe, and are better suited for, say, like an environment like sitting in school. But that's few and far between, man. Even then, though, I bet if you gave that boy something to fucking do outside of sitting at a goddamn desk listening to somebody drone on and giving homework and shit, they'd probably take it up. It doesn't necessarily... It could even be something, and this is from personal experience, I couldn't join any of the extracurricular activities I actually wanted to do when I was in junior high in like 7th or grade 7 or 8 or something. So you know what I ended up doing? I ended up getting put in home economics. And at first I thought, wow, that's just shit for girls, cooking and sewing and different things like that. And then I realized that it's actually because I realized that it was actually useful skills I was actually going to learn in the class. It wasn't just for fun. There was a purpose behind it. I was like, I think more boys should actually be, because it's kind of a meme that, you know, especially young men can't cook and clean and or you know, take care of their fucking, if they get a fucking tear in their clothes, they can't deal with it themselves. They need somebody else, and they'll maybe go around, or they'll throw the clothes out or whatever, right? Like, it's a meme thing basically, because boys and girls. But me going into that class, I learned how to bake, I learned how to cook properly, I learned how to like sew and various other skills in there that I actually found to be comparable in a certain context for life to like shop class. And then eventually I did get it. I think it was next year I actually got into shop class, so I, you know, kind of learned a bit of both, and it was useful. But that's only because it was made because of the teacher of the home ec class. She made it let's say digestible for me, that it was interesting, that it was necessary, like there were good skills to learn there, etc. Without that, because that's kind of the primary thing, is it can't be just having fun. There has to be a purpose behind it.
Yeah,
think,
that's a big
Biggest
thing. I do
What's the
much
purpose?
better in any kind of, like, just any kind of activity where there's a clear defined purpose. There's a clear, not necessarily a clear path to said purpose, but it. Like, for example, like the first desk job I got, boring as fuck, the most boring thing ever, but I did certain things to turn it into a video game. Yeah. And
if you can figure out something like that, then you're maybe going to be okay, right? Something that'll make it manageable.
That's what I have to do. I have to do, and it might not be the exact way that everyone else does it, but I have to find a way to do it that stimulates my mind in the proper way, or I'm just going to fuck it off.
Yeah.
And
Well-
and the fact that I'm self-aware of this but still can't fix it is a huge frustration.
Well, it's not that you can't fix it, it's that you haven't figured out the way how to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
There's a difference. I would
since
say
I've been
don't stop
looking
looking,
into it
keep
and
looking.
actually researching it, it's helped a bit, but
Mhm.
it's made me realize, like, fuck, I should have taken therapy more seriously when I was a child.
Why
but
therapy,
I
though? Therapy is developed primarily
not-
for women.
not-
okay?
Okay,
First and foremost.
it's not necessarily therapy, but like
Management, maybe?
management of emotions for one, because ADHD people get angry as
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah,
and-
because of frustration, anxiety, etc. That's why.
yeah,
Right,
and couple
those
that with any kind
emotions.
of past trauma, and then
God
instantly
damn it.
your mind goes to like, oh, well, I've gone through this, and now I'm frustrated about this, and it becomes like a
It's called a positive feedback loop.
yeah.
Where the
and
negative
these
just loops
feedback
back on the
loops
negative.
are a huge thing that I didn't even know about. Really, like I understood it as soon as I heard it.
Yo, Anna.
Feedback loops are crazy. It's just like, okay, I'm mad. Now I'm mad that I'm mad. Now I'm mad that I'm mad that I'm mad. Like,
Yeah, and it's kind of an unending thing, right? It's
it never stops.
it's being able to work your way at, well, it does. It's knowing how to manage yourself to. So this is one thing I try to get through my sister's head for a lot of different things was like, oh, okay, you're going on that this is a problem, this or that, blah blah blah, but I don't hear you talking about wanting any kind of solutions. About trying to fix a problem, right? This is my sister, just so I'm not saying you, just so we're clear here. Fucker, stop trying to rot me. Am I regenning? Nope. Give me one sec here. However, if a person doesn't learn that they can maybe even manage and figure it, right? It truly is in a lot of ways like, oh, what's the process of positively overcoming something, right? It's not even that it's a correct way. There are some, let's say, potential correct ways you could say somebody needs to do something. But it's, can you help them even see the glimmer of hope to begin with? That, I think, is the biggest thing. Is can you help somebody see the glimmer of hope that is like the positive end of whatever this troublesome thing is? And it can be small to large, right? Like small problems, big problems. A lot of times big problems are actually a bunch of small problems combined together. So it's like management of like expectations, management of, because when you have a process of like determining factors, I guess you could put it, how to put those things in order and manage them on an individual basis, because it varies from person to person, because personalities vary from person to person, etc. Then a person can sit back and actually say, okay, here's, first it starts out, like say it's somebody like that maybe can't control their emotions very well for whatever reason. Maybe they get angry really easy. So it's like the psychiatrist or whatever therapist might tell you, okay, maybe when you start to feel angry, be consciously aware of that. Don't just let it unconsciously occur, because that's kind of inexcusable behavior in the case of something like that, right? Especially in public. Be consciously aware that it's happening, and maybe stop and take a deep breath. Do something that's going to deflect or turn that anger into something else, right? Something positive. So like an example of this is like if somebody has anger management problems, sometimes exercise in a lot of negative emotion, for a lot of negative emotions, exercise, physical activity, especially for boys and men, helps counteract that, because you get a purpose, you get results, you physically and psychologically feel better because of the things that are going on with hormones and stuff like that, drugs literally ripping through your body, right? Endorphins and all that, and it helps counterbalance things. So it's like you need each individual needs a structure of things that they can do both in the moment and long term as a strategy. But most people nowadays, what I see is there's no strategy. There's no like strategy of how to deal with things in life. Maybe it's because your parents didn't teach you. Maybe it's because, in the case of somebody with narcissistic personality disorder, their parents literally weren't, the adult figures literally weren't there to teach them, except maybe in the most negative sense, and inappropriate behaviors of how to deal with, like, instead of, you know, when somebody says, I don't like you, my response to that is typically, well, okay, cool, and then you walk away. You just don't deal with that person. if depending on their behavior, maybe they have a legitimate reason why they think they don't
Well,
like you.
and
right?
my whole thing is like, if someone's like, I don't like you, I was like, okay, well, do you want to remedy this? Do you want to tell me why you don't like me? If
Yeah,
not,
give me
then
a good
fine.
reason. You give me a good reason, because if there's a something in my behavior that I should change, maybe I'll consider it at the very least. But if it's bullshit, I'm just, because I've said that to somebody before, like, well, what's your problem with me? And they just say, just you. It's like, okay, so you don't have any actual issues with me. You're just taking your personal bullshit out on me because I happen to be the convenient person in your vicinity of throwing a temper tantrum like a fucking 5-year-old. Okay, cool.
It honestly took until I was in a band and playing for thousands of people and having to deal with many, many, many people all the time. And sometimes people just don't like you. And that's fine. It's just like, cool, man. That doesn't mean I'm necessarily don't like you or gonna treat you a certain way. It's just like, cool. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. If I can fix it, let me know. If I can't, well, I'll try not to bug you. Like...
Well, it depends on the circumstance too. Something that happens a lot to people nowadays, or maybe this is just in general. I don't know for people.
Sorry to interrupt, but would you mind loading up the?
Oh yeah. Here, I'm just gonna talk to this chick to complete this quest.
Now
Ooh,
the
serpent
tree, the
bone.
earth tree, it was all tarnished like the shower lord. If the earth, then we are with we at the. If you
Blah 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 blah. Stop talking. Yeah, I just gotta grab something here real quick, and then I'll load up that. I'm gonna go for a smoke, and then I'll load that up. This is, you want to load up this randomized seamless, right?
Yeah. Just load it up so I can come in there, grab the merchants.
Oh, do you have
to
to
do anything else?
Do you have to grab? Are you talking about for? You're gonna have to load up the 46618 or whatever.
Yeah, I did that already. That's
Okay.
the seat I'm in.
And the number? Tell me the overall seed number, just to make sure.
Uno momento. I have to tab out. The seat number is 17158852337.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Good.
Yeah, that was like the first thing I loaded up. I was like, I'll just kill the dragon on this seed while I wait. Can you level up a stat that increases your memory slots, or is that just?
No, I kind of wish, but you can't.
I was just wondering because the Fell God's Flame takes 2.
Yeah, no, you gotta find memory stones, or alternatively, you can also use what is it?
Talisman, maybe.
Yeah, the Moon of Noxtella, I think is what it's called. Anyways, rant over. Oh, so before we go and do this, because it's already 10 after 10, I'm gonna call her quits for this stream for now. And I'll start back up in about 50 minutes here, 40-50 minutes for when we do the randomized seamless co-op. Alright, so Xenochrist, also known as Pottled Venus, right? Thanks for coming in here. Sorry about the psych lecture. But,
We're just having a conversation.
It happens, yeah.
But yeah, are you gonna load the game up before you go?
Yeah, I'm in the game right now.
All right, cool. Because I was just saying, otherwise you're just gonna have to wait when you get back.
Why would I have to wait?
Because I have to go around to all the merchants and shit. Probably gonna take a second.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. But we'll do that offline. So.
Yeah.
But for now, I will wave. Bye-bye. Hey! And I'll see you all again shortly.